Dear ladies and gentlemen, how are you? My name is Dr. Macarena Rau Vargas, and I am the International President of the International CPTED Association, and I will today present the Cloud of Dream workshop. This is a diagnostic tool that me and architect Carlos Gutierrez and some other professionals developed in Chile in the year 2006. So in this opportunity, in this International CPTED conference, from the International CPTED Association to be held in São Paulo, Brazil, we will be very lucky because we will apply a real Cloud of Dream workshop in favela Paraisopolis. That is a very challenging environment. For that purpose, I will explain today what is the Cloud of Dream workshop and how you apply one of them. And in the conference, we will have a mini workshop, a little and very quick workshop of analysis of the drawings done by children from the favela Paraisopolis. As I mentioned, the Cloud of Dream workshop initiative started in the year 2006. As you can see in this picture, we had the opportunity in Chile, in Santiago de Chile, to invite to 10,000 children to draw your dream city. This was the instruction. And we did it not only in the capital city, that is Santiago, we did it in almost the complete country, in the most vulnerable schools. Because of that, we could gather 10,000 drawings or dreams. It was very interesting, and in that moment, we developed the methodology of 7 filters of analysis. How then, when you have all the drawings, doesn't matter if you have 10,000 or you have 20 drawings, what matters is the quality of the draw, and then you apply 7 filters of analysis to understand from a CPTED perspective and environmental perspective the information that appears in the draw. This Cloud of Dream initiative done with the Biennale of Architecture, the School of Architects, the Minister of Housing, the Ministry of Interior and Home Office, the police, and many schools around Chile in the 2006 year, was so successful that we systematized that process, that methodology into the Cloud of Dream methodology for workshops and analysis to gather that subconscious information that is very, very relevant from not only from children. Then from the year 2006 until now, we have applied Cloud of Dream with different ages and gender also. We applied in the year 2012 in Ciudad de Mexico and also in many other cities in Mexico country, 17,000 drawings to be presented in a regional CPTED conference that was held in Ciudad de Mexico in the year 2002. Here you can see a picture of those drawings that we gathered for the Ciudad de Mexico regional conference. It is very relevant to understand that CPTED is very connected with the Cloud of Dream methodology because CPTED is a living methodology, it is evolving. It started with CPTED first generation, moved into CPTED second generation, and now third generation. And what happened in the Hispanic region is that this methodology needed to be adapted. I was very lucky to be the pioneer on that process because I was trained in Toronto. I learned CPTED in Toronto, but then I traveled back to my country, that is Latin America, and I could, with different teams, start the implementation of CPTED. First generation CPTED is a more physical-oriented approach that seeks to reduce the opportunity of crime and has different principles that we in the Latin American region adapted to natural violence, natural access control, territorial reinforcement, and maintenance. Also, then since the year 2000 in the Latin American region, we started adapting also the second generation of CPTED, including the citizens' participation principles that involve other principles of CPTED second generation, but for our region was known as the CPTED second generation, the citizen participation principle. And since the year 2018, there is more evidence or more information towards a new CPTED generation, that is CPTED third generation. We have very interesting articles, one wrote by Greg Saville and Matej Minjak, and others articles. I wrote one talking about CPTED third generation in the Latin American region, connecting with the Cloud of Dream, for example, for Mexican cities in the year 2020. This third generation CPTED seeks to understand the motivation of crime and introduces the sustainability principles in a very high standard way. We talk about economic sustainability, we talk about environmental sustainability, about health sustainability, and also we talk about social sustainability. That is something very relevant, connecting with the pyramid of Maslow also of motivation. It has to do, for example, with self-realization. It's a very interesting, but the connection between CPTED third generation and the Cloud of Dream is very strong, because the Cloud of Dream connects with that information, as you can see in these drawings, that is more in the subconscious part of the brain, that gather all the information of the environment, the positive and the negative. It's a very more gentle way, for example, to talk and ask for children to dream their park or dream their school without asking them if they were sexual abuse victims or if they were hit by the parents. It's a very good way to talk about something, because if children or any person who participates in the Cloud of Dream workshop is a victim of violence, of crime, and is suffering with a trauma, that information will appear in the draw. Nevertheless, the instruction was very positive. Draw your house, for example, or draw your city. When we work with children, we need to be very careful when we apply a workshop of Cloud of Dream, because in the first moment, they don't connect very easily in a psycho-emotional way to the blank paper. They just think about it, or they are a little confused. They talk with the neighbor or with the other child that is also doing the workshop. So we need to leave them very quiet, so they have moments to reflect and to connect in an emotional way. But after that process of emotional connection, that is the first step after the tutor gives the instruction of dream your city or dream your school, the children start connecting and expressing the different designs in these blank sheets. Something that also is very relevant is to offer these children different types of colors. They need to feel that they have options. And also, it is very interesting when they doesn't use any color, they discard the color. This is something that talks about emotional, for example, stress. They don't want to feel the emotion of vibrant yellow, a very strong red, green, because they don't want to feel. Also, we need to be very careful when in the draw appears red and black, or gray. So if they discard color, or if it does appear red or gray. It is very relevant that we involve different people in the Cloud of Dream workshop that are linked to the school community. the parents, if it is possible, the teachers, some neighbors, if they want to participate also with the dreams or seeing what children are doing is very relevant. So the International CPTED Association institution will hold the international conference Safe Cities by People this 30 and 31 October from the year 2023 in São Paulo, Brazil. This will be held in the theater Sergio Cardoso, but we accepted region cooperation with Olga González del Riego, who is treasurer and director of CPTED Region Corporation ICA chapter based in Chile, will work before that in the favela Paraisopolis with schools leader, with community leader to develop that workshop. And it is very relevant because we started developing already different clouds of dream in Brazil since some year. For example, here you can see some pictures from Juazeiro do Norte in the Ceará state in the north of Brazil, where some CPTED students are applying this cloud of dream with many children. So we have already experiences applying these CPTED cloud of dream workshops in Brazil with very interesting results with analysis of the drawing. Also here is PBK Consulting helping the team PBK Consulting mainly with the format later and systematize of the information. For the purpose to achieve this workshop, myself and Olga González del Riego with Sergio Fang from CPTED Brazil will go to the favela to perform this workshop together with INSPER team and some local leaders. Then we will gather all this design and information. We hope to have more than 20. I always try to have in my projects and labs more than 20 drawings, at least 30 would be great. But if not, it works to spread the methodology also because this has also an academic objective. And then we will do a quick workshop in the conference, applying with people from the favela and from the audience that will be there, applying the 7 filters of analysis. I will go now through the 7 filters to share with you some of the main ideas of each filter of analysis. The first thing to highlight is that we analyze the complete sample of drawings, not one draw by another draw. No, it's the complete sample. And for us, this global view, it's very relevant because we do comparisons and we analyze contrast among the drawings. The first filter is the repeat of elements in each draw and in the complete sample. For that purpose, the first thing is to do a cadastre of all elements that appear in the drawings. For example, here is an example from another sample, and we distinguish infrastructure, nature, animals, community, transport, technology, playgrounds, among others. And then we count with much patience how many technology or how many playgrounds or how many animals appears in the complete sample. And then we produce this kind of graph because we want to see the tendency of the highest element repetition. This is the first filter. The second filter is that we analyze elements that distinguish. And this is very relevant because in big samples or in small samples also, but when you have a sample of drawings, you can distinguish when you, for example, has a very different element. Here in these examples, you can see, I put here some draw that I gathered from Puente Alto in Chile, another community where I applied much in Villa Antes del Sur, this Cloud of Dream workshop. And you can see here how in COVID context, they start drawings with much black, some monsters, some insecurity, fears and problems, this girl is dreaming of 2 babies that died because of COVID. This other is showing a candle in black because also is in a mourning process because someone died because of COVID. This other draws the complete neighborhood with a plaza in the middle, but without people in active communication or social cohesion activities. So this is something very relevant to distinguish these elements that are different in the complete sample. And in that case, we can do an interview with those authors of these drawings. The third filter is called the geometry of the draw. So we define like these diagonals, these virtual diagonals, and we distinguish what is built in the center of the draw, and then we distinguish what is in the perimeter. The center is recognized as the first environmental priority need, and the perimeter the second. So we can count and see in the complete sample of drawings how many centers repeat, for example. In this case, is this girl talking with another girl, that can be the friend sitting, that is a cohesion moment that is very relevant for them. And the second perimeter, the second priority is this perimeter with the playground, with the social cohesion and communication with other partners of the school. That is very relevant. And then we also produce some graphs. This is the third filter of analysis that we call geometry. The fourth filter of analysis has to do with persons. And we analyze and count the amount of persons in the complete sample. Something that we need to worry about is when you have drawings or samples without persons. It is something very difficult to manage because it talks about a very fragile social cohesion structure in the community. So we need to produce some strategies to reverse that. But in some other samples, you can find drawings like this, when the author of the draw can draw himself with a friend. That is something very positive. And also we count how many people we have or persons in the drawings, in the complete sample, and in which activities they are. And also we produce graphs. The fifth filter of analysis is that we call the trace of the draw, and we analyze how strong it is, because the intensity of the trace has to do with emotional boundaries, emotional connections to the environment, with the other people, with home, with mother and father, for example. So it is very relevant to see the complete sample and try to make some proportional amount of that sample that is, for example, in a scale of low, medium, and high intensity of the trace. So we produce also some graphs with that information. The sixth filter we call color. That is very relevant also to analyze the complete sample and to see which are the predominant colors of the sample. It is green, as here in the example. It is blue, it is yellow, that are very expansive and positive colors, or you have more red and black that has to do with more negative emotions, from anger, for example, or when you are feeling very bad regarding your community, or fear. Anger and fear has much to do with absence of color, also black and also red. And then the seventh filter of analysis is when you have messages in the complete sample. These messages are very, very relevant because these messages give you direct information about their perception of the environment, the social interaction, their needs. Because of that, is so connected with motivation and third generation, and also for example, sustainability. I love much working with samples of children because they always connect, for example, with recycling programs. And they are very aware of how to take care of our environment, to avoid pollute water, and the relevance of nature. And most of the time when I work with children, they highlight much flowers, they highlight trees, landscape, and it is very, very, very relevant. So these messages, you analyze all of them, you write them in a book, for example, or in your iPad, your computer, and then you mark also when they are repeat. If you have the same message repeat and repeat, it becomes a high priority of the complete group, and you need to take account on consideration. So when the workshop ends and also the analysis, we have also time with them for some talking if they need, if something was not put in the blank sheet, in the drawer, we can talk a little. I have been in so many Cloud of Dream workshops since 2006. And in some of them also, it can happen that you discover a victim of sexual abuse or domestic violence. So it is very relevant to have a protocol. I suggest to have a protocol, a clear, guided protocol, how to act in those cases, because you will need to connect immediately with the school director, for example, with the policy if it needs, if it is a child, needs help immediately, and to have a very coherent intervention. As I mentioned before, the Cloud of Dream workshop, developed by myself, Dr. Macarena Rau Vargas, and architect Carlos Gutierrez, and other very nice professionals in the year 2006, is a diagnostic tool that we use much in CPTED projects and intervention. Has everything to do with CPTED first, second, and third generation. Can be applied with different ages and gender. Sometimes I produce only Cloud of Dream workshops with women or men, depending on the project. But especially, I love much the CPTED of Dream workshop with Cloud of Dream with children, because I think that as much as we invest in prevention programs with children, we can expect better results in the future of our societies, that is the earlier prevention. So thank you for joining me. I hope you will appreciate much this information. I hope you can apply that information in your towns, in your projects, CPTED projects. You can follow me in my social media networks, in Instagram, Facebook. You can send me also a mail, president@cpted.net. It's my mail, and I will be super happy to connect with you and interact if you want to apply a Cloud of Dream workshop. Here you can see all my credentials. And as architect, as master in architecture and PhD in urbanism and urban design with a specialty in CPTED, as ECCP Advanced from the International CPTED Association, I love to share this information because I have seen communities that receive this Cloud of Dream workshops, this very deep diagnosis of social, emotional information and environmental information, and then how we can, with this information, with them also together, produce a super interesting CPTED projects and change their environments and their quality of life, finally, because with that process, we demonstrate with measures that we could reduce crime, opportunity crime, and also fear of crime. That is something very relevant in all regions of the world, and especially in the Latin American region. So thank you, and enjoy the conference. Bye-bye. Hola, bom dia. ¿Cómo está, Tiago?
Bem, e você?
Bien, también. Muito obrigada por esta nube de sonhos que vamos a hacer hoy día. ¿Y cómo está você?
Estou bem também.
Bem-vindos. Cuéntenos, ¿dónde estamos?
Bom, vocês estão no programa Einstein na Comunidade de Paraisópolis, programa socioassistencial com diversos núcleos. Vocês estão aqui no Núcleo Arte e Comunicação, no nosso ateliê de artes.
Y es muy importante preguntar a las crianças cómo se sienten y si se sienten seguras, ¿o no?
Sim, total. Esse é sempre o nosso foco, né? Trabalhar com a segurança das crianças, estando num espaço seguro para eles, estando num espaço acolhedor, num espaço que abraça essas crianças, que traga essas crianças para cá. Sempre muito importante.
Bueno, muito obrigado por la oportunidad. Vamos a pasarlo muito legal.
Valeu.
Olá, Manuel, como está você?
Bem,
Bien, que está você desenhando?
eu estou fazendo a natureza e os animais. Tipo, eu fiz aqui uma borboleta, um passarinho, uma girafa, uma zebra, um cavalo e um porco.
E você precisa mais natureza onde mora? Sim, muito importante a mensagem. Muito obrigada.
De nada.